If I have any interview, I think my credit goes to two of my very close friends, Rushil and Areeb, who have scored. Rushil has scored AIR 47, and Areeb has scored AIR 79.
Hi, welcome everyone, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Manhar Bansal, and he's cracked CLAT this year, and not only cracked, he's cracked by a margin. And a couple of things which I was discussing with him which stand out. The score 125.5 is great, rank is great, but what shocked me was he said I finished the paper about 10 minutes in advance, and was just wondering what to do in the last 10 minutes. And the second thing is I'm unhappy with a couple of mistakes. So otherwise I would have possibly been another 2 to 3 marks. Okay. Now that's very, very interesting. And I think what one needs to look at is that what has Manhar done in the last 1 to 2 years in terms of preparation. And he joined Career Launcher CP Center in after his 11th, during his 11th, and was a classroom student of the SPAN program. But I think what will be important for the students who are going to take CLAT next year, the year after, is to look at the journey, the preparation process. What all did he do? Because the feedback of this year's paper was it was a lengthy paper. Not only that, please remember at least one set in quantitative aptitude or maths was slightly incorrect. I'm using the word slightly with a huge amount of caution. Actually, I should say the person who created that one set probably does not know maths and English both. Okay. But that is why I would say so. Manhar, congratulations, and just one question from my side: are you planning to write IELTS?
Absolutely, I've prepared for it. It's just another exam. Today I'm leaving for my center. That's why I have to do this early. I'm leaving at 3 from my home. So yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Great. So guys, please remember IELTS is still there, and so the rank 1 in IELTS is still under contention, and obviously for Manhar, the way he's performed in CLAT, if he does the same thing, he'll probably have Manhar meeting again for IELTS also. Okay. So congratulations, Manhar. All the best from Career Launcher LSG, and over to you, Jijo.
So thank you, GP. So Manhar, first question: how are you feeling?
I don't really know how to answer that question. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling thankful. Not very excited because I don't usually feel very excited at stuff. But yes, I'm very, very grateful for all the people who have been part of the journey. And I'm very happy and thankful.
Wonderful. So you actually prepared for 2 years in a classroom program with us. So my question is, you wanted to, how badly you wanted this?
I think, obviously, this was my only option. I had no other options. I did not have any backup plan, so to say. So I came in class 11th thinking that I wish to do CLAT, and I'm from the first of my family to come into the law field. So I did not have a lot of other exposure also as to the other opportunities. In fact, during my journey in between, I was slightly attracted towards political science honors because that is my favorite subject. But then eventually I thought that no, a law school would be the best place to start, my journey into this field of law and politics and, this public policy and everything. So yeah, I think this was my only option and I gave it my best. So yeah, I think from that you could say that I really wanted it. I didn't have any other option. I just gave CLAT, LSAT. I didn't have any other, I didn't give a lot of exams. So obviously I wanted it.
Yeah, and now that you got it, I am very interested in knowing your journey. So from my experience, the people who study for 2 years, first year usually, what do you do in the first year? Did you study? Did you do anything in the year number 1 of your preparation?
So I think all I did in my first year was just attend all the classes and take all the mocks. Because I think I'm the kind of person that I like when I'm given a schedule. I'm not so good at scheduling things myself. And I have this concept that even if a class is not relevant to me, but if it is scheduled for me, I have to attend it. So yes, I attended all my classes except in unavoidable circumstances, and I took all the mocks. That was it. I did not really go back and study things or revise things. I tried making GK notes. I started making it, but then I left it in a month because I thought it's bizarre working for. And obviously then the pattern got changed. So yeah, I think Only
So,
attending
so,
classes and taking mocks.
so what I'm hearing is that you are a very disciplined person, and
Yeah.
so tell me your journey in your this year when you were very serious about the preparation. And I want to ask this question: where did you start? At what scores did you start? Did you have your challenges, or it was always a smooth ride?
I think I won't say it was a smooth ride, but I won't say that I started from a very bad position. I think I've always said this, that the new CLAT pattern benefited me because I've always been reading. Since I was very young, I have been reading. Even during my CLAT preparation, I have a book going on even right now. So I think my first score, I remember when I gave the new pattern, it was above 100. I have never dropped below 100. I think it was 105 or maybe 110. I'm not very sure. So I started with that, and then it went to, I think the highest I've gone to is 136, and the lowest I've come to is 105. So during my entire second year, the scores have been between 105 and 136, being the upper limit.
So you're actually telling me that you've been preparing for CLAT for life, reading books, and that has really helped you in the in your
I didn't
exam.
read them for CLAT. I just read them for the sake of reading. But yeah, it
I
has
know.
obviously
Yeah.
helped me.
So if there is any advice for everyone, please read a lot. If you develop that skill set, automatically you see that benefiting in the CLAT. So
Yeah.
let's. But is there any area, any subjects in your preparation that troubled you?
Yeah, I think GK was a problem for everyone, and so GK, like obviously you get disillusioned a bit. There is so much things to cover, and GK is a subject which is very input. You put a lot of input, and the output is very less. And sometimes you get frustrated. You're doing everything, and still it's not working out. So I think GK was a problem. But I think along the way with my friends, I found a way. We found a mechanism. I remember I talked to you. I got a little bit of perspective to my faculty also, and I think after that we developed a mechanism, and then we stuck to that mechanism. I
So
think
what is the mechanism that you did? So it'll be interesting to
I
know.
think so. Like I promised this to my friends that if I have any interview, I think my credit goes to two of my very close friends, Rushil and Areeb, who have scored. Rushil has scored AIR 47, and Areeb has scored AIR 79. And they were my biggest cheerleaders. So we had this small group. I titled it Journey to NLS. I think we formed that group last year in September, maybe. I'm not very sure. So that was basically for GK. We had our own events list. We did not take any list from anywhere else. We basically, how we did it was that we had our usual notes, right, from the daily GK, from Aspiration, and from newspapers, etc. We all had our own sets of notes. But then what we did was we created a common Google document, and from those notes, after every month, we would just go through the notes of those months, of that month, and then take out all the possible important events and write them down in our Google document. And then we used to divide them. To divide work, so I would do one event, they would do one event each. And every day, I think without miss, every day, 9 p.m., it was a GK time. So we all three of us, we would have researched our part of our event, and then we would ask questions, and usually the other person would say I don't know, because only one person had researched. So that was a way of sharing notes but also having fun along the way. So I think that was I don't know how much it worked, because the paper was a little bit, but yeah, but I don't have any regrets. We learned a lot, we did our best, and I think you can't prepare for a bad paper, you can only give your best. So I think that was a broad mechanism. Obviously we had small bits and pieces in that, but that was the broad thing. Have a list, and we had fun with it. We had color coding. So we had this thing that whenever we used to add an event, we used to color it black, and when we would finish that event, we would remove that black color. So that gave us motivation also, that okay, today we had 5 black events, we have completed all of those. And then we picked up the important events from those and we colored them blue. And then I made a schedule for the last 20 days, and then we revised all those blue events. So I think that was our mechanism, working with them, having fun, and yeah.
So what were the names again? Your friends?
Rushil Batra
Rushil and
and Areeb.
Arif. Rushil
Yeah.
and Arif, shout out to you guys. I think what I've seen, Manhar, is that there are the people who make it have these groups. study group, the friendship, that they create a group and they share the ups and downs in journey. I believe that more than GK, I'm sure that this strong, close
Yeah.
group of yours really help each other. Tell me more. I'm
Yeah.
very interested to know.
Yeah, it was, I think, like it started as a GK group. So one of them was my classmate only. So we had a good friendship. But the other one, Rushil, he actually, he just sent me, I think it was the 15th of August. That's why I remember it because it was the 15th of August. He sent me a random doubt on the postal rule of acceptance. And coincidentally, it came in the paper also. So he asked me, that doubt, and I just cleared it. And then we started talking. And then we thought, I asked him because I was struggling with GK. So any person I met, I would ask, okay, how are you doing GK? How are you doing GK? So he told me what he's doing, and I found that I could incorporate one or two of those things. So we started talking, then we started sending daily questions to each other, and then I told him about Areeb. So then we formed a group, and yeah, like more than GK, it was you had that emotional support. Like as I always say, they were my biggest cheerleaders. Like because they always used to say, that we want an AIR one, and I would tell them, please don't say that, don't say that. But yeah, like huge emotional support, and I think that's very important because CLAT is a very different exam. You don't have a syllabus. There's nothing, you can't say, okay, I have completed it, right? There's always things to be done. So you start feeling disillusioned, you start feeling frustrated. You score, you give a mock, and you score 105. So I think that becomes very important to have someone who understands where you're coming from, and you're also able to talk, have fun, crack jokes, and also do GK.
Ah, so I am very happy that three of you did well in the exam. So I'm also hearing, Manar, is that you have people around you who helped you the journey. Is there let me talk about any mentor specifically you want to give a shout out to who helped you throughout your preparation in the last 1 year?
I think from CL, the biggest help I would say was Jyoti ma'am. So basically, she was not my regular faculty, but I found out that there was a provision for having a doubt session. And then what I would do is after every mock, I used to book a doubt session. So the day the analysis would come, I would drop a mail. And the first time I wrote the mail, after that, I would just copy and paste. And after every mock, I took a doubt session with her. We spent an hour going through my mistakes of English and logical, because legal, the mocks were not so difficult. So legal, I was able to get more. GK, I don't think there's anything to be discussed. Maths, I always scored well. So English and logical were my problematic areas for my preparation. There was so much subjectivity. So I think like she played an important role, because after every mock we would have a discussion, we would discuss our mistakes, and I think this continued even till the end. I think the last doubt session I had was after the last mock I took. I think just barely a week before CLAT. So yeah, I think in terms of the faculty at CL, I think she played a very important role.
So
And
shout
obviously
out.
there were a lot of other people.
Yeah. So you're saying?
Yeah, so I think there were also a lot of other people. I mean, I have so many people to thank. Like as I mentioned, my friends, those two were in my group, but there were a lot of other friends. For example, my dear friend Shruti, she has got AIR rank 10. So she was also in close contact with me. Then obviously my teachers at my school. People think that CLAT is, as I've said, I repeat it all over again, that CLAT is a very different exam. So it's not about you study something at coaching and you just copy paste it in the paper, right? It's your experience from so many years. So I think my teachers at school, because I opted for humanities, not because it was easy, but because I loved the subjects. So the discussions in classrooms on political science, on legal studies, that background you develop. So my teachers at school, I think the people behind the curtains at CL, like the content creators, I think more than the, because classes, you can't, there's a limit to what you can teach in classes, right? It's the content, it's the mock tests which help you. So the content creators at CL, and obviously my parents, my family, I think the best thing they did was they did not, my mother was asking yesterday, what's the full form of CLAT? I was AIR rank 1, and she was asking, why is this A? It should be E, it should be entrance. And I was joking that you don't even know the full form of my paper. But I think that was the biggest support. They never intruded much, right? They gave me, they knew that they had confidence in me. They never asked me much. I think they don't even they know the pattern, but not the nitty gritties of it. But I think that was my biggest support, to have someone believe in you and not keep asking you how you're doing, to have that someone behind you to support you. Yeah. So
So I think there's a long list of people that you are thankful about. I think one more name I heard, Shruti, AIR 10, you said.
Yeah, Shruti
Uh,
Jain.
Shout out to you,
Yes,
Shruti, as
yes.
well, and to your parents and your teachers in your school. I'm sure they're very happy and proud. You mentioned about the test and the content and the test series that was a part of your course. How did those things help? How did those resources helped you in your preparation?
So I think as far as material goes, the modules we had, I completed them quite early. I remember, I think I completed them by August last year, maybe, like all the modules, all the sectional tests, all the topic tests. So I was asking people what to do. I mean, and I couldn't go through them again. Like there was no aspect of novelty. I couldn't give the same tests again. Even though teachers said that, I think you always said that you should go back to the same things. But yeah, I know it's important, but I couldn't give the same test again. I would remember the answers. I would know this is the answer. I would use my brains. So I think from then till now, mock tests have been my greatest. Like I think I have only given mock tests. For GK, I have obviously prepared, but for English, logical, legal, and maths, I don't think I've done anything special except mock tests. I mean, mock tests perform both things. They teach you where you're going, they give you motivation, and you also come to know where you stand and you find your mistakes. I think so. Mock tests have played the most important role. In addition to them, like obviously the classes we had, as I said, even though I knew what was being taught in the class, I still attended it because it's a class. And so yeah, I think classes and mock tests, I think those were the two broad things which helped me.
So how many LST mock tests did you take in total?
So I don't exactly know how many LST mock tests I took, but
Hmm.
yesterday I have this spreadsheet with me, and I used to mail those spreadsheets to all the teachers at CL, hoping that they will get back. And for example, I sent it to you. And yesterday, as of yesterday, that sheet stands at 107.
107. And how much
But this
did you did?
includes, but this includes
I understand.
CLAT, INLET, LSAT, all the things.
So what you're telling me is that even if, let's say, there are other tests that you're taking, you still uh, uh, gave importance to the test. You are telling me that you are attended classes even if you knew some of the subject being taught. Did you miss any class?
I did. There were a few classes I got a little irritated in, or sometimes I was not like, rare instances. But usually I attended the classes. Maybe 1 out of 10. Maybe.
Okay. The one more thing I want to ask you: how many hours did you put in? What was the schedule like? You can probably look at, let's say, this year. Let's discount what happened in your 11th standard. This year when you started, how many hours was it, daily, weekly, and what is the, in terms of investment of time? How many hours did you put in for your
So
prep?
to be very honest, I've never been able to understand this hours formula or logic. Matlab, I don't know how many hours I've worked because I don't think you can work by hours. Maybe people do, but for me it has never worked. So it has always been that I need to do a certain number of things today, small things, and I just have to do them. So I think in the middle of the pandemic when the lockdown started, I was getting frustrated. I was having stress levels, and then my brother told me that a good exercise would be every night when you go to sleep, just write down all the things you did that day. So I made this Apple Notes I have, I think from October, in which I had titled that also Journey to NLS Bangalore. But yeah, but every day before sleeping, I would just write down all the things I did that day. And on days when those things were less, when I had only two things to write, I would be a little ashamed of myself. Oh my God, I just did two things today. Tomorrow I have to at least put 5 items. So my agenda throughout the day would be, okay, let's take a mock test so that I would be able to write in my phone that I took a mock test. Let me attend a class so that I could write. I would be able to write. I have attended a class. So I think it has never been in terms of hours. I didn't have anything else to do. So obviously, apart from school, I attended my school. I loved my school. I fully participated in everything in my school activities. And whatever time was left, I think that was broadly taken by CLAT. But that does not mean that I was working throughout the day, but in small pockets, doing small tasks. I think that's how it went.
So shout out to your brother as well, who has helped you in
Yeah,
inculcating one amazing. I think that's a great thing that you are actually writing down task wise, and not looking at time wise, but task wise.
yeah,
Let's go ahead with tasks, small tasks,
yeah.
and then the big huge. You said you love your school. Which school did you go to?
For 11th and 12th, I went to Delhi Public School, Arkipuram. I'm not
Okay.
from Delhi. I am from Muktsar, which is a small town in Punjab. Not so small town. I won't call it a small town. It's a good city in Punjab. And I did my schooling till 10th from Little Flower Convent School in class 10th, until class 10th. And for 11th and 12th, I moved to Delhi. So yeah, so both my schools till 10th and obviously 11th and 12th. Every person from class first, I think, in some ways, even teachers who have not taught me, I think even they have, their share in the pie.
Wonderful. I think it's very nice to hear that, Manar, that you were around with people, or this could be deliberate. This is not luck. I'm sure that this is who you are, and you've ensured that you had an ecosystem which helped you in your preparation. I want to move on to the last thing I want to talk about. Took you in the class, you told that you had 10 minutes to spare.
Yeah, I think maybe 8 to 10. Yeah, 8 to 10,
Eight to
I
10,
think.
10 minutes. And a lot of people have this assumption that there is no, what do you say, it is a lengthy paper, and there are a lot of things to do. Time is a problem. How did this happen?
Okay, so I think I understand why people think it's a lengthy paper, and I think they're not unfair, or they're not. It's right to say it's lengthy because they're just passages to read and so much to read. But I think, as I said before, right, that I've always loved reading, and I've always said that the new paper suited me because if you see the old pattern, the existing ALET pattern and the old CLAT pattern, how I would say it tests your analytical and mathematical aptitude, so to say. Whereas CLAT is about verbal aptitude, right? It's about how you can read things and understand them. So I think my reading habit helped a lot. My reading speed was decent. Secondly, I think I also stuck to a plan from my beginning till my end. I think I experimented maybe in the beginning, but I think throughout the year I did the same order, and that was the same order which I followed in my paper. So going with GK first, GK I didn't read the passage at all. I didn't even look at it because there's no use, right? Except when you have to fill a blank. Maybe then you go and see, okay, what's the blank about? You try to take a hint. So I think GK you complete in 5-7 minutes very quickly. You go through, pick the ones 5-7 minutes. Then I move to English, and then I move to logical. So for me, English and logical was the same only, just with different names. So my plan was that I have to complete GK, English, and logical within the first 1 hour. That was my target. And maybe if I can go to 1 hour 5 minutes, that's it. So, and I think I was usually able to complete it in 1 hour, maybe 1 hour 2 minutes 3 minutes. So that was my first leg. After that, I moved to maths, and I gave myself 20 minutes in maths. So from 1 hour to 1 hour 20 minutes. 20 minutes were for maths. If I'm going okay with maths, I'll maybe take it to 25, maybe to 23, and the rest of the 35 minutes for legal. So I think that's the broad plan. And in the actual CLAT paper, the passages were quite straightforward. I mean, I wanted more variety. It was about COVID, and it was the same thing. So it was very quick to read. And I think the English and logical sections were pretty easy. And I think that's why I said in the beginning that I regret being in a hurry. So had I spent those 10 minutes in maybe those 2-3 questions which I got wrong, I would have easily got them right. I mean, those were very obvious questions. I don't know. I was in a hurry. I was being too fast. I was overconfident. I don't know. But maybe it was the pressure. But yeah, I think the paper was fairly straightforward as far as English and logical is concerned, at least. And it didn't take me a lot of time to go through all those.
I think maths one set was weird. I think GK was strange.
Yeah, I think strange is the word to describe it. I mean, right. So yes, so basically, like GK, like, see, I think the thing is that we had prepared a lot, especially our group. I mean, I usually don't say this of anything I've done, but we were very proud of that group. I mean, we had covered so many things in so much detail, and there were so many important events, like the Afghan peace deal. That's the biggest geopolitical thing happening. The Olympics are happening. there were mentions of 3-4 genocides, and I mean these are just 3 things. Our list had, I don't know, maybe 500 things. So when you get things like when did a certain person die, or I think that is still okay, but like some questions were a little disappointing, but I think it is what it is. I mean, you can't keep complaining.
True.
Like it was the same for everyone. It was a competitive exam, and right, I think we did our best. You can't always have you can't always have the paper you want, so I think it's fine. I mean,
So
yes,
Manhar,
there is scope for improvement. There is scope for improvement. I would want the consortium to test people more on how depthfully they've gone into important events. Maybe like there are so many important events happening. I mean, why would you want to ask World Water Day? Although that was a very easy passage in terms of marks, but if you see in terms of what you're testing, I mean, there are so many important things happening. So why would you want to waste one passage? You have 8 passages. If I were the examiner, I would be I mean, in a fix that there are so many things happening. GK is so vast, and I have 8 passages. I want to do justice to these 8 passages, and make good questions. So I don't know, but I mean, it's fine.
yeah, this is your rant is exactly my point. I think you nailed that. Uh,
Like just a small thing, if I can like talk about.
sure,
So
sure.
I think this, like, for the past 3-4 days, there has been this discourse that the CLAT paper was not good, and even I talked about GK. But I think what has also been missed, that I think we also need to acknowledge some things which the consortium did very well. I think, I have my friends who are giving NEET, and they have the NEET on the 12th of September. They have been preparing for over a year. So I think we also must acknowledge, they have been very quick with the process, conducting the exam on the 23rd of July, releasing the answer key that day, being very transparent about the process, giving the result in 5 days. I mean, obviously, we waited the entire day yesterday, but that's how results are usually released. But I think we must also like acknowledge those things, and not just see the negative parts of it. I think they did a good job in terms of organizing everything. Uh, Obviously, the paper could have been better, but the entire, making sure that the forms are filled on time, and as soon as they got the window of opportunity after the second wave, conduct an exam, make sure the counseling happens, and people get to their law schools. I think I also like wish to acknowledge that you a little bit of some criticism has been unfair,
I know.
so yeah, just that point I wanted to make, because I don't think it's very fair on the part of all students to just see the negative part and just get and say that they did everything wrong. That they did a lot of things right, and there's always scope for improvement, and I hope they improve in the coming years.
I hope consortium is listening to a student's concern, and I'm sure that they did a wonderful job. And this is not an easy task to conduct the test at the scale of this, and ensuring that the decision, like you said, the decision that they made to ensure that the test happened smoothly, the results came out, and yes. So what I heard, Banar, is that you were disciplined, you stuck to a plan, you were committed to the process, you created friends along the way who stuck with you, and you created a close community. You had good mentors, and you had a good set of product with you to take you through, and and then you stuck to the plan. So the thing that I hear from you is that all these are available to everyone, right? You have friends, you have resources, you have things. Very few people actually stick to the plan and committed to that particular plan, and here you are. I wish you the very best, Manar, in your journey. I sincerely hope that tomorrow's exam goes really well,
Yeah,
and hopefully you can see the GK that you've studied, and you feel like, oh, amazing, this is a great paper. Let's hope that happens tomorrow.
yeah.
And I would want to again, Rushil, who else?
Arib.
Arib, Shruti,
Yeah.
Jyoti. That's what I hear. I think the people who created the mock, the people who are behind the screen in LST, your parents and your brothers, and all the teachers in your school who has helped you, and all the friends along the way. I think that's what Manar is crediting his journey to, and I know that this has been wonderful. And wish you the very best, Manar.
Thank you.
GP, anything?
No, Jijo, I think it's terrific. I think what I liked the best was group study, something that we always encourage, and but it is something that you can't impose. It has to be done by the students. But I think the difference was कि यार ये discipline था, करना
Correct.
है, करना है. And साथ में जो था from a preparation point of view, apart from that GK group, I think that Jyoti के साथ जो हर बार ये session fix कर ले, Jyoti was available to everyone, or faculty is available to everyone. It is back to you to say, okay, after the paper, I have to discuss the paper, get my doubts cleared. I think terrific.
Okay. So we are with Dr. Madan Mohan Bansal, who is a proud father of Manhar. Sir, I want to first of all congratulate you.
Thank
And
you.
I
Thank
was
you very
I was listening to him, and he's had a group of people who's very supportive, and he has given you all of you credit. So, is there anything that you would want to share about your son, his journey?
Yeah, his journey has been very wonderful. Right from childhood, he has been very honest boy and very hardworking, and he's totally self oriented. He always puts his 100% whatever he is doing. So that is the best quality which we found in him. And
One,
his mother
sorry.
has been very helpful to him every time, because I am definitely more busy with my profession, and she being government servant, so she gives more time to him. Right from childhood, she has given him a lot.
So, so your son is going to be the first lawyer in your family.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
most
what is
of
the
them, yeah, are there in medical field only.
okay? You all of you are in the medical field, right, sir?
Yeah, one of my cousin's daughter is in this field. She's
Okay.
at the moment, she's the additional public prosecutor in Delhi High Court.
So
Yeah,
let's that's very wonderful. And I must tell you that one good thing that you did, or what Mana pick up, is an ability to read as a habit. I think that has helped him a lot in the examination. Very wonderful, sir.
yeah, reading has been like is a hobby. Not only the books of the class or the subject he is studying. Apart from that, he has a habit of reading a different kind of books. So that really, I think, helped him every
Okay.
exam. Yeah.
You guys are not in Delhi, right? He is your son
No, no,
is
I went to CL also 2 3 times at the time of his admission.
okay.
Yeah, we are in Muxar now. We are in Punjab. We are in Muxar. It's
Okay.
Muxar is a district in Western Punjab. Yeah,
But
it's
your son is studying in the school
yeah,
in Delhi.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. In 11th, he was studying in DPS Puram. The
And
elder
then of
one is
course,
in Delhi, so he has been of great help to him. So he is pursuing his MD medicine in Ramanur Lohiya. So
okay.
he did his graduation also from Delhi. So when he joined DPS Puram, it was his first outing from Muxar, from his hometown. He went into the hostel in the boarding only in 11th. Up to 10th
Okay.
class, he was in Muxar only. He was with us only. So he remained in hostel only for 1 year. So second year was again, he was, because of the lockdown, he remained at home. So
So
whole of his studies were online, whether it was DPS, Puram plus 2 teaching, or the CLAT teaching, everything went online.
wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I think congratulations once again to you, your family, and I wish that Manar will do very well in the law school as well, and
Yeah,
make us all proud in the
yeah, with
future.
all your good wishes, we hope all the best for him.
Thank you,
Coming
sir.
future.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so Manar, too much. I think Tera story, I think, will be very nice. I think it was one of the best interview that I've had.
I think I'm remembering things now. One or two things more like I wanted to talk about. So I think one thing which is like not to take a lot of stress. I think as I said, CLAT is not a paper which is like NEET or IIT JEE that you have to structure your entire life around it. Like I told you, I have been doing other things. So from the 2nd to the 4th of July, which is barely 20 days from CLAT, Arib and I we participated in a debate competition. We love debating. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of July, we did not do anything for CLAT because our entire day was spent in debating, parliamentary debating with college teams. So we are a school team, but we debated with college team for those 3 days. And we only did GK. Obviously, GK we had to do. But apart from GK, those 3 days, we did not do anything else. So I think, so what I'm trying to say is that, it's not a paper where you sort of, that becomes your everything. I mean, you have to enjoy, you have to explore other things, enjoy other things. As I said, 11th and 12th, I enjoyed. By enjoying, I don't mean going to parties and all. For me, enjoying means, doing debates, reading books, going to competitions, participating in club activities, participating in school activities, all of that.